All right, I said my piece yesterday, so I'll go ahead and open it up.
And you were such a big part of the Lions turnaround there. Because of that, I think a lot of the fans were upset that you decided to join a division rival. Even Brett Holmes said he was surprised a little bit by your decision. Did you take any of that into account as far as, what it would mean to the Lions and their fans and how upset they were when you factored in your decision to come here?
Well, I would say this, Carlos. Good to see you. But yeah, yeah. Everything last year ran through my head, and that was one of the unfortunate parts of making that decision. Was you were saying goodbye to a lot of friends in a great place, and so um, my family, myself, we have a lot of strong relationships there in that community. Hopefully that continues to stay that way as well. But, we felt like this was the best opportunity for myself and my family, and we were really excited about coming to Chicago. And so, um, at times you have to make tough decisions, and that's really how that one went down.
I asked Dan on Monday how he considers, your relationship. He said you'll always be a friend. You said you hadn't heard from him since August, I guess. Have you heard from Dan? Did anybody reach out and wish you good luck before Monday night's game from that organization?
Yeah, we texted back and forth a few weeks ago, and so we have been in touch. But um, that friendship's always going to be there. I view him like family, and I think he would tell you the same thing. And so that'll never change. We have fond memories of back when I was just a young snot-nosed computer punk, as he likes to call it, in Miami. And I feel like we both grown up in this profession of coaching. He'd been in it for a long time as a player, and we both come a long way. So you look back at that Miami staff back in 2012 and 2013, and there were a lot of really good coaches on that staff, and um, that's part of the journey, is seeing where everyone goes.
Understanding how much focus is on the football side this week, what's it going to be like for you Sunday when you walk on the sidelines on the other side of Ford Field and reflect, if at all, on this journey?
Yeah. I think my mind's going to be about just winning the football game, and that's really what it's going to come down to, is us going out there and looking to find our first victory of the season. And so it'll be a tough environment. That place has really turned into one of the strongest home field advantage places, I think, in the National Football League. And so we'll have our work cut out for us. We'll have to be able to communicate within that hostile environment, and I think we'll find out a lot about ourselves.
When you have talked over the last few months about Caleb and his throwing accuracy, you keep going back to his footwork, the feet being the starting point for all of that. What did you see as far as his feet being aligned and his mechanics Monday?
There was a lot of good that came out of it when he was doing it properly. Ball came out on time, and I thought he was delivering accurate footballs, but it's still not 100% all the time, and that's something that we're working through.
And were you happy with the time that you were, I guess, still had left on the clock when you were breaking the huddle? In other words, did you feel like you were breaking the huddle quick enough to do everything you want to be doing pre-snap?
I don't think we ran into any delay games. We did have to burn through 2 timeouts because one was that 4th down. I was a little late getting that call in, and another one we were gonna probably have a delay had Caleb not called the timeout. And so other than that, though, I thought the calls were getting in decent and orderly fashion, and we'll continue to speed up that process in terms of breaking the huddle from there on out.
Can you elaborate on what some of the
such good knowledge of the other roster that you're facing this week? How do you communicate that to your coaching staff?
Yeah, I think they know. They watch the tape. They're really good coaches, and so they know who their playmakers are, and maybe some perceived weaknesses on their roster. Every team has strengths and weaknesses, and so I let them do their due diligence, and it's always good to have different eyes on it. And we talked last night about their roster a little bit, and we'll continue to do that over the course of the week here.
Because you know stuff that's not on tape, though.
Sure.
That was last night, that conversation?
Yeah, a couple things might have popped up, but once again, we got some really good, smart coaches, and they know what the tape says.
And TJ and Jalen went through pretty extensive workouts before the game Monday. Looked like they were moving around well. Are you expecting them to play this weekend?
Hopeful. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We're we're working through treatments right now. We'll have a walkthrough here tonight, and then we'll release our preliminary report here this afternoon. So
Can you elaborate on what some of the responsibility that Caleb might have in terms of the false starts that were out there relative to cadence, if that is part of it?
yeah, it's all of us, but I think whenever you're the quarterback, and certainly as the play caller myself, like, you take a lot of responsibility for that. And so if we're not all getting off at the same time, or if we're having procedure issues, then yeah, you look at the play caller and the quarterback first and foremost, and it's really the responsibility of everybody else from there to make sure we're getting it right. So once again, that's a huge point of emphasis here this week.
Dan, did it surprise you at all that Detroit had the offensive struggles against the Packers?
Well, I mean, it's week one in the NFL, and so there's really a lot of unknown that pops up. And I thought Green Bay came out flying around. I thought that's what showed up on their tape, was that defense was all over the field. They were relentless, and so I mean, they have some young players up front, and so I anticipate them to be much improved this week.
And on your first play of the final drive, you guys came out of the change of possession break, and then it was a little bit slow getting in, and the snap ends up hitting DJ while he's in motion. What all happened in that sequence?
Yeah, those were some of our last plays of the game, and we weren't fully on the same page on that.
What was the response you got from Caleb as you went through some of the problems in that game Monday?
Very positive. Like, he's been the same. He's been consistent really from the springtime to training camp till now, and it's been looking in the mirror. What can I do better? He's very coachable. I think it's been great. It's been a really good process, and I can't stress enough how good the support system is around him, between the coaches in that room with JT Barrett and Declan and Press, and then along with Case Keenum, someone else that has a lot of experience in this league playing this game. So I think we're really good in terms of cleaning up the mistakes and moving forward.
You said yesterday you thought DJ was okay. Was that the case?
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
Yeah, we'll see the report later.
Would you like more? Would you like from Wednesday? Where can he?
No, I thought all those receivers, and I'll talk about Rome in just a second, but they all had to get their hands dirty in the run game, and so they were very willing to do that last week. Obviously, the running game didn't take off to the effect that we wanted to, but he had a number of jobs there where, from blocking DBs to linebackers to cutting off defensive ends in the running game. So that was the first thing that popped off the tape. And then he was very detailed in his route running as well. He created some separation when it was close, and so I think there's a lot of things to build on.
And what do you want to see from Kyle to find a way to use him in the running game?
Monangai? Yeah, I need to call more runs. We probably were at under 20 for called runs for the game, and so I need to call more so that we get him in the game a little bit more. But that's something that EB and I have talked about, just making sure he has more carries going forward.
Just curious. He said Dan Campbell called you. It's not what did you call him?
Oh shoot, I don't even remember. That was a long time ago. Appreciate you guys.